For creating my project, I've had some trials and tribulations, as one may call it, with high expectations and low capabilities, which many of us have experienced during this project. Confidence has been lost. Through creating an idea that is valuable in your opinion to sharing it with your peers, lots has been altered. Ideas change depending on factors that usually can't be controlled. For all in the class, the issues differed. Specifically, for those like me, without a license, this project was particularly difficult and required much more planning. Scheduling the shooting was grueling as well. Taking all others' schedules into consideration is not a walk in the park and could be very irritating. Beyond production, post-production has also brought about its own struggles. Cutting milliseconds, adding music, transitions, titles is repetitive. The biggest stress, though, has been the altercations throughout this project, which I will harp on at a later point. First off, I will be discussing question 1. How do your projects use or challenge conventions, and how do they represent social groups or issues? Well, in my project, most of the genre conventions used occur during the story itself. This is because in the drama genre, decisions are evolved around emotions rather than technique. In my film, some of the uses include the beginning, which is a montage of a love story. And a love story is very true to the drama genre. There is a subcategory, the romance genre, which is basically a drama film that includes love as its main focus, and I guess in some situations mine may be considered that, but I do not really consider it this. But in this love story, it is revolved around the main character's parents who fall in love at a young age, get separated, and then fall back in love, have a kid, and then have a tragic ending, which is very realistic and which is another use of the drama genre because of the death that occurs after the love story, which is another main thing that happens in a drama genre. It revolves around recovering and grief, which could also be perceived as another convention of the drama genre. Though sticking true to the genre is important, sometimes going a little bit off track is okay. So in my film, some of the challenges of the drama genre include my montage. Now, montages could be in any single film, but in drama genres, the focus is usually around the characters and their development and just dramatic pieces. And I feel with a montage, most of that is kind of skipped in order to speed things up. And this is not a bad thing, but speeding things up misses the opportunity for more dramatization. And in a montage, it's sometimes sped up, and mine is sped up, and it just goes a little bit faster than what I think a traditional drama genre movie, TV show would focus on. Another challenge is the speed in my clips, which I just spoke about. Especially in the montage portion, I sped up the clips a little bit because I felt that the story could still be told with a little bit quicker pace, and because it didn't have any audio in it, which is my next challenge, because it didn't have any audio in it, I could tell the story in a more condensed fashion than rather wasting my time. And the next one that I also just stated was the diegetic silence. I did have music that was playing over most of The next reflection question I'm going to be answering is question number 2. How do your products engage with the audience, and how would they be distributed as real media products? The engagement with my audience has been different than many films because my film doesn't include any actual dialogue, so it's definitely a lot different than films that do and that target audiences in specific ways. So without audio, every single viewer sees my story in a different light. It's all different, but if it was a full film, these effects wouldn't take place as much because I definitely would want dialogue in it, but for this portion, it can be changed in any way. It is definitely a new experience that anyone can see your vision in a different light that is alternate for me. And another thing, the signature track, the song Dorothea, but it's actually Tupelo in this because I thought that hit more as the title. Upon viewing it, they might know it. Taylor Swift is a very popular artist. They'd probably catch on to the story much faster than someone who's listening to it for the first time. Also, people who relate to this situation, people, they can see it for themselves, don't even have a relation. They just might like the film is set around a teenager that writes a story. For the real media product, if it was created, I did say a little bit about this, but I'm gonna go more into depth. If I did this as a real production, I was committed, and if I did it for real, it would have had a different beginning, because when I first wrote my script, I loved my script at the beginning. I thought it was really good. Now reading it, I would have changed like a few things, but I like that order better, and I feel like it fit more. I just wanted my story to be a little more told. The beginning of the story before, I had to rearrange and delete pieces. It started out, older one picked the younger one up from school, and they were just talking about something, and then she went into her room, and then she started writing, and then a lot more things happened, but then once I was out of time, I had to get rid of the idea. So if I did it again, or did it differently, I would have also more focused on the characters. That's another thing. It would have been more focused on the character. It is, but it isn't. I really like dialogue. In this, it may not seem like it, but I was trying to really ties the story over my liking. But if I did do it for real, something that would stay constant would be the independency. I liked the independency. Obviously, it's a project, and it's a lot different doing a real film, but I like that it's independent. I wouldn't have to deal with people. It would be very repulsive to me, because I like to be in control. Another thing, it would not have been distributed.
But Lorelai and Luke ended up together, which made me cry. Did you really cry? I don't think I've ever cried at a TV show or even a movie.
Moving on to question 3. How did your production skills develop throughout this project? My production skills. A few things I have learned from this include attempting to stay steady. That is such a problem. And I know I was not very steady, I can tell, but it is definitely really hard. I understand a lot more why people will use steady cams and everything, because your body is not meant to stay like a stick. And it's not that visible in the scenes that I didn't delete, but in some of them I deleted. I think that I was very shaky. That's normal, because your body's supposed to move a little bit. If I was doing this film again, I would invest in a Steadicam. I don't even care. Some films, this is a desired look because they would like to achieve unconstitutional everything. And so this would be a good outlook for them to have their film look handmade, like handheld film. And I understand that. But for me, unless it was completely that purpose, I would not be doing that again. Another thing that I experienced for the first time, partially I have done this in the past, like a little bit, but this was a little bit different, because in the past I've done videos for school where I make up the script on the spot. Right here is a clip from a project that me and a few friends made for language arts class. This is me right here, and I'm talking about random stuff, and I am pretending I am a teacher that is kind of like a crazy teacher, but none of this I had written out beforehand. I just kind of went on and said it. Same with everyone else's parts, like this part right here. When she is talking back to me, she said what I wanted her to say, but it was not written down. I just kind of told her what to say. And yes, that is directing. I did have to do directing for this, but I didn't have to direct my script. Directing a script is a lot different, because you have to make sure, like, you have to keep looking back at your script being like, oh, I don't really remember what I wrote exactly on the script because I wrote it a month and a half ago. To look back, you have to examine it, you have to be like, okay, you have to do this, and then you film it and you're like, oh, that's not really right, and you have to do it again, and it's a lot different. So directing actors was definitely a key part of this that was very cool to learn how to do. Another thing was making sure that I could stick to my filming schedule and like not miss anything. Like this one day, a lot of the scenes were cut, but when I was filming with Ellie and Sage, is Yvonne, the older sister, that's the real girl's name. So I was filming with these two, and I had to keep looking back at the script to see like what part we should film next. And also, when we first got there was immense noise. Please, coming from the neighbor doing something with their roof, and it was like really loud. It sounded like a pressure washer. I think they were pressure washing or something, and it was really loud. And I was gonna film that one first, and I was like, wow, what are we gonna do? So then we filmed random sections first, and then we did the first one like last. And so doing it out of order really confused me, and I had to make sure I didn't miss any of the scenes, because we only had that one day, and also getting the scenes of the montage, because my family isn't free very often. I'm not available while they're free, and vice versa, and also while it's light outside, because I work and get home late, or they come home late. So we had to figure out a day where we could do it, and it was definitely difficult. Another thing was learning how to avoid conflicts. Like I had just previously stated, someone was being very disruptive, and it's not their fault. It's not like I told them that I was gonna film. It was just an inconvenience. So avoiding that was difficult, but I
I'm
learned
such a
how to
great
do it.
sister to put her laundry away for her. What is this?
Now, on to the final question. How did you integrate technologies in this project? Well, this may be the easiest question yet. In this day and age, technology really is the base to almost everything we do. And I know this project originated a while ago, so this was major. But right now, none of us could have really done this without technology because we've been so exposed to it. The technologies I used were, first of all, my phone camera, which is the iPhone X, and my aunt's phone camera, which is also an iPhone. It is the 11. And filming, it looks relatively nice because Apple has worked to perfect their cameras throughout the years. And so we didn't really need an outside source camera. I do have one camera. I have it somewhere here. It just does not have a card, and I didn't really want to use it anyway because I didn't know if the footage would turn out good, so I just thought that I should use it with my phone instead because it'd be easier to transport, easier to have all this stuff on me at all times, and it's not too shabby. And then, to edit, I used iMovie to edit all of it. I didn't edit it on anything else. And I used my MacBook. It's a MacBook Air, and I edited on this computer. Then to write my screenplay, I used writerduet.com. Very nice website, very easy to use. It helps you write a screenplay, very self-explanatory. That's the website I used. And then the last important website that I used was YouTube. And YouTube helped me with two things. It helped me to export the music that I wanted to use and make it go into my project. Then I just started exporting it off of YouTube. There's a really cool trick that you do. You can download the YouTube video. So I download the YouTube video, put it into my video. I cut it to a specific part of the song that I thought would work, and then I put it in the audio section, put it underneath everything, and that's how I put my music in. And then obviously the other thing I used YouTube for was the uploading of my video. And it's up there, it's on my YouTube channel, and I don't think I would have used any other platform.